So there I am, standing outside my friend's apartment door, holding a bottle of wine in one hand and my phone in the other. And I completely forget the code to get into the building. 15 minutes. I stood there for 15 minutes, and you will not believe what I said when she opened the door. Okay, hi. If this is your first time here, quick level check. This episode is for B1 to B2 learners. So comfortable with everyday English and ready to sound more natural. I'm Sona. I'm a real English teacher and I studied English language teaching at the university. And today we're going to talk about something so common, but still so full of tricky little phrases. Visiting a friend's house. Because here's the thing. You can know perfect English grammar, but still freeze up when someone opens their front door and says, come in, come in. So tell me in the comments, what's the one phrase that always makes you freeze in English? Hold that thought. I'll be back to it. All right, let's go back to that door. So backstory. My friend Priya invites me over for dinner. Casual, she says. Just us, she says. You know, famous last words. I show up and I'm buzzing the wrong apartment number. And some poor stranger is yelling, wrong buzzer, through the intercom. And I'm standing there like a very confused tourist in my own city. Finally, my friend Priya comes down herself and she opens the door and goes. And she says, oh my gosh, sorry. Come in, come in. Ignore the mess. And I said, wow, this is not what I call a mess. Which is, by the way, is a phrase you'll want to steal. We'll come back to it. So we go inside and she says, make yourself at home. Take your shoes off if you want. And I'm thinking, okay, this is the moment. This is the moment where my English either works or it doesn't. Direct question for you. When someone says, make yourself at home, do you actually know what to do with that? Because I didn't my first year abroad. I just stood there like a nervous statue in someone's living room. Don't be a nervous statue. That's today's running joke, by the way. A nervous statue. I'll bring it back. So anyway, we sit down and she brings out snacks and she goes, help yourself. There's plenty. And I take like one polite cracker. One. Meanwhile, she's like, no, seriously, don't be shy, eat. And turns out that help yourself is basically a command disguised as a suggestion. Noted. Dinner's going great. We're talking and laughing. Suddenly, her roommate walks in and Priya goes, this is Sona. She's just popping by for dinner. Just popping by. I like that one immediately. Okay, we're back. So dinner wraps up and it's getting late. And now comes the hardest part of any visit, knowing how to leave without being rude. I stood up and I said something really awkward. Priya just laughed and said, you don't have to rush off. Which translated means I'm being polite and also, please don't leave yet. I eventually did leave properly this time. No wrong buzzers. And at the door, she said, thanks for coming. Let's do this again soon. And that is the perfect natural way to end a visit. So no more nervous statues today. Let's go be confident guests. Okay, let's slow down and go back through everything that happened, phrase by phrase. Same order as the story. Mostly practice and less me talking. Okay? So the first phrase that we came across was come in, come in. Come in is an enthusiastic invitation to enter. There are some other alternatives like come on in or get in here. Come on in or get in here. Say it with a smile. But these two are so casual and you can use them for your close friends. There is another option that is more polite and formal. You can say, please come in. Let me give you an example sentence. My neighbor opened the door and said, come in, come in. It's freezing out there. Now, pause the video and say it out loud. Come in, come in. Say it with a smile. One warm phrase and suddenly I felt okay again. Phrase 2 is ignore the mess. Ignore the mess. Ignore the mess. This is a polite and automatic thing that people say about their home, even if it's clean. There are some other alternatives you can say. For example, sorry about the mess. Sorry about the mess. Or don't mind the mess. Don't mind the mess. This is more casual. There's another one. Excuse the clutter. Excuse the clutter. This is British leaning and more formal. There's something that you should know. No one expects you to comment on the mess, okay? This is a social reflex, not really an invitation to inspect their apartment. Let me give you an example sentence. For example, ignore the mess. We just came back from vacation. Now it's your turn. Repeat. Pause the video and repeat. Ignore the mess. So in English culture, apologizing for a mess that isn't actually messy is really common. It's really just a way of saying that I want you to feel comfortable, not being judged. The polite response isn't to agree. It's exactly what I said. This is not what I call a mess. This is not what I call a mess. Say it with a smile to your host. Now pause the video and repeat after me twice. This is not what I call a mess. Phrase 3 is make yourself at home. Make yourself at home. This means relax. Act like you belong here. Don't be formal. There are other options, other alternatives. You can say, get comfortable. Get comfortable. Or treat this place like your own. Let me give you an example sentence. Make yourself at home. The remote's on the table and help yourself to anything in the fridge. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and repeat twice. Make yourself at home. Phrase 4 is help yourself, there's plenty. Help yourself, there's plenty. That means please take some without being asked twice. There's another alternative. You can use dig in. Dig in. Dig in is so casual and it's only used for food. Dig in.